Hello Year 2. In this video, we're going to be looking at verbs and adverbs. You might want something to write with and something to write on. So if you don't already have those, pause the video and get them, and then press play when you're ready. A verb tells you what someone is doing. So if you have a look at this picture here, there are lots of people and animals. What are they doing? So for example, this young gentleman here is kicking. He's kicking a ball, but he's kicking, that's what he's doing. And the little boy behind him is running. So pause the video and have a look at that picture and see how many things you can find that people are doing. So these are the ones that I came up with. And they might not be doing them, but this is what I was thinking. It's the seaside, so possibly someone is swimming or one of the dogs are swimming. And you've got a boy running, it's a man standing, this lady is sitting, they're playing. This man here looks like he's watching someone else. He's kicking the ball, stroking the dog, throwing a stone. So I imagine that people will do, they might not be. This man looks like he's waiting for someone else, maybe because it's a beach, there's someone sunbathing. I don't know if it's a very sunny day looking at what they're wearing. And this lady here, I think, is reading a book. So that's what they're doing. So did you get any others that I missed out? An adverb tells you how they're doing it. So not what they're doing, the verb tells you what they're doing, and the adverb gives you more information about how they're doing it. So he might be kicking the ball carefully because there are lots of people around and he doesn't want to hurt anyone. So have a look at the list of verbs that you came up with. Find the person that you thought was doing that and add an adverb that tells me how they're doing it. So this was my list. So maybe they're sitting quietly, or the dog might be barking loudly. Like I said, the boy is kicking the ball carefully and stroking the dog gently, waiting patiently, running quickly. Maybe they're stroking the dog nervously because it's not their dog and they're a little bit scared. So they might be a bit nervous. So stroking the dog nervously. Maybe they're swimming slowly or walking slowly and sunbathing lazily. So that was my list of adverbs. Did you get any that I didn't get? And then what we do is we put those together to make a sentence. So the boys were playing football carefully on the sand. There is our verb, playing, and there is our adverb, carefully, which tells us how they're playing. They're playing carefully. So the boys were playing football carefully on the beach. The great thing about adverbs is that we can move them around a sentence. And the sentence will still make sense, and it varies what our sentence looks like. So we can actually begin the sentence with the adverb. So carefully, the boys were playing football on the beach. So we've still got our verb, they're playing. It's still got our adverb that tells us how they're playing, but they're playing carefully. Carefully, the boys are playing on the beach. And we can also put it at the end of our sentence. So the boys were playing football on the beach carefully. So they didn't hurt someone, and you could add that so that they didn't hurt the people on the beach to make your sentence longer, and you've got that connective so as well. So maybe you could go back to your list of verbs and your list of adverbs and put them together to make some sentences about what you can see. I'm also going to show you a game that I used to love playing with my children when they were little. So what you do is you take a book and you very carefully, in your neatest handwriting, copy out a paragraph. And this is not my neatest handwriting. I've typed this, I've cheated a little bit. And then what you do is you rub out all the verbs and replace them with fruits and vegetables. So if you look at this one here, it says, this is going to be very silly. By the time they cucumbered the gallery, Grandma was tomatoed. Dear me, what a long walk she potatoed, cabbaging on a seat. You peas a look around, I'll just carrot a quick snooze. So Katie radished at the pictures. And the idea is that you then give that passage to somebody else and you get them to change all the fruit and vegetables back into verbs, and they can be as silly as they like. They don't have to be, they don't have to make sense, as in they don't have to fit, but they still have to make sense. The sentence needs to have a verb in it to make sense. So Katie radished at the pictures, you could have Katie looked at the pictures, which is actually the right one. But you could also have other ones. You could have other words for look. So Katie glanced, Katie glared, Katie stared at the pictures. But you could have other ones like Katie pulled a face at the pictures, or Katie smiled at the pictures. Katie ran at the pictures. So as long as it makes sense, it doesn't have to be sensible. So you can do that for a grown-up and ask them to change the words. Or you could ask a grown-up to copy the passage for you and change the verbs. And then you have to change them into ones that make sense. Have fun, Year 2.